Hello, my friend, and welcome to another episode of the Relief Report. In this episode, we are going to talk about how damn confusing food triggers can be and why you might be out there not knowing what food is causing this or that, or maybe you have the same meal over and over again and it just doesn't work for you. We're going to talk a little bit about some FODMAP foods that might be causing you some confusion and how you can get clear on your food triggers. I'm Stephanie Clairmont, your digestive dietitian, and this episode is actually about broccoli versus broccolini. Now, if you're a little confused and didn't know that broccolini was a real thing, it is a different kind of vegetable, similar to broccoli, green, has florets and a stalk on it, but is actually a different vegetable. Now, for those of us that have digestive health issues, IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, or any other kind of digestive health issue, it's really important that we get clear on what foods trigger our symptoms and what foods are safe for us to eat. We're all unique and different, so your food triggers are going to be different from mine and from other people. But there are some common food triggers that we can start to identify if they bother us or not. Now, FODMAPs are poorly digested sugars that exist in some foods. And without getting too in-depth about FODMAPs today, you can learn more at stephanieclairmont.com. We're going to talk about two different foods, broccoli and broccolini, that Monash University tested. Monash University is the university in Australia that developed the low FODMAP diet and found some differing results, which can make food quite confusing. Now, the end of the story to this is that we have to go through a process to identify what our unique food triggers are so we can find that freedom from digestive health issues. Now, if you need help with this, you can head on over to stephanieclairmont.com and we'll share the link right here in this post and in the description for our own trigger checklist to help you go through all the potential triggers that might be causing you issues, kind of help you get started with all of that. But for today, let's talk about broccoli and broccolini. So we have two different vegetables, and actually they have two different parts. If you can imagine broccoli, which looks a lot like broccolini, it has some florets, some kind of flowery stuff at the top, and then a stalk. What Monash found was when they tested these two vegetables for FODMAPs, which are those poorly digested sugars, in broccoli, now I'm going to read my notes because I don't want to get confused and say the wrong thing, but broccoli florets, which are the top part, are low in FODMAPs, meaning they don't have a lot of those poorly digested sugars that are triggers for so many of us. But the stalk portion of broccoli is high in FODMAPs. So I'll get to the point in a second. Broccolini, which is a different vegetable they just tested recently in the last few months. And what that found is that, again, I'm reading because I don't want to get this backwards. The florets at the top are high in FODMAPs and the stalk is low in FODMAPs. So we have two vegetables that are kind of similar and it's actually the opposite. Now, what is the point of even talking about all of this confusion? Well, just that if you feel confused by food, you're not alone. If you're trying to figure out what is causing you issues and what's not, you are not alone. If this feels complex, complicated, and that the low FODMAP diet feels like a damn challenge to follow, you're not alone. It is a very challenging elimination diet that you should be following just for a short time. And the whole point, my friend, is to identify what your triggers are. So despite broccoli and broccolini being different and having different FODMAPs in different places, which can be overwhelming to think about, you can let go of that and just know that following a plan and following a system to identify your triggers and get clear on what foods you can handle and how much you can handle is how you get over all of this food confusion, all of this FODMAP confusion, and you get to a really good place. So a really good starting point for you would be the trigger checklist. And if you want more hand-holding and a more systematized step-by-step plan, what to eat, what not to eat, what kinds of things that you need to focus on to heal digestive health and heal your gut and get back to feeling normal and feeling free from symptoms attacking you all the time, then you want to look into the Clarity program, which you can learn more about on stephanieclairmont.com. But for now, just know you're not alone in all this food confusion. And if you are trying to follow the low FODMAP diet, or you're looking into a diet or a plan to help you figure out, what foods you can eat and what you can't, what your triggers are, Start with that trigger checklist and make sure that you download the Monash University Low FODMAP Diet app so that you can be clear on what foods to include on a low FODMAP diet. You should be working with a registered dietitian, and not just any dietitian, but someone who's an expert in digestive health if you are on a low FODMAP diet. And remember, if you are, it is a short-term diet. You only need to follow it for a couple of weeks and then head into a phase where you start to identify your triggers by reintroducing and challenging some foods. Okay, my friend? Don't worry, you're not alone in all of this. So many people are trying to figure it out. And if you need any help, I'm here for you. You can visit me at stephanieclairmont.com and you can learn more about how I can support you and help you. And for now, you can download that trigger checklist and get started in a process to identify your own unique triggers. All right, I'm going to see you again really soon. Bye for now.